The vision that would unveil the fate of nations began with a silence, and then a presence that changed everything. Revelation 11 opens with this moment. The sky over Patmos was quiet when the mighty angel descended, a presence so vast it drew the breath out of the air. His face burned like the sun, his feet stood like pillars of fire, and in his hand was a little book, already opened, already written, already sealed in heaven. When he cried out, 7 thunders answered, rolling across the sea like hidden voices, speaking secrets John had never heard before. John lifted his hand to write, but the angel stopped him. His voice cut through the air, not harsh, but final. Do not write what the 7 thunders spoke. John froze. The thunders were prophecy. He knew it. He felt it. He tasted the weight of it. But the angel leaned closer, and the island trembled under his feet. You must prophesy again. Not later, not someday, now. Before many peoples, nations, tongues, and kings. The angel was telling him, what you just heard, the 7 thunders, is sealed. But the prophecy for the nations begins now. This is the warning they must hear. This is the word the Spirit will perform. John swallowed hard. The scroll in the angel's hand was not a message for him to keep. It was a message for him to release. A message the Spirit would later perform. A message the witnesses would later carry in the wilderness. A message the nations would not understand until it was too late. The angel extended the little book. Take it, eat it, for the word you release now is the word the nations must face. John took the scroll. Sweetness filled his mouth. The sweetness of Yahushua, the word of the Most High. But when it reached his belly, it turned bitter. The bitterness of judgment, the bitterness of nations who would not realize what they had done. And as the sweetness faded, the vision opened. John saw the temple. He saw the trampling. He saw the nations. He saw the beast. He saw the 2 vessels in the wilderness who carried the word. He saw the Spirit performing every decree the Most High had spoken. And John understood. The prophecy he would speak now was the prophecy the Spirit would perform later. He lifted his eyes. The angel nodded, and the prophecy began. The scroll settled in John's belly like a storm, sweetness fading, bitterness rising, the weight of Yahushua's word pressing against his spirit. Then the angel placed something in John's hand. Not a weapon, not a tool of destruction, a reed, light, simple, but carrying the authority of heaven. The angel's voice came again, steady and deliberate. Rise and measure. John stood, but he knew this was no earthly measurement. He was not being asked to count stones or walls. He was being asked to announce what the Spirit would separate. The true from the false, the holy from the profane, the remnant from the crowd, the worshipers from the watchers. The Spirit would do the measuring. John would speak the decree. The vision opened. John saw a temple, not of stone, but of people. A sanctuary made of those who carried the word. A court filled with those who only carried the name. The angel spoke again. Measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and those who worship within. John felt the weight of it. This was not a building. This was identity. This was covenant. This was the Most High marking his own. But then the angel's tone shifted, firm, final. But the outer court, leave it out. Do not measure it. The angel continued, for it has been given to the Gentiles. John froze. The prophecy continued. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. Revelation 11:3. At that word, John understood he was not watching 2 men rise from the dust of the earth. He was seeing the heavenly pattern, the same pattern shown long ago to Zechariah 4. Two lampstands fed by two olive trees, the two anointed ones, standing before the Most High of the whole earth. Not by might, not by power, but by His Spirit. The witnesses were the setup from above, rooted in the law and the prophets, the same two who stood with Messiah in glory on the mountain of transfiguration, the same two whose testimony the Spirit would now carry out in the appointed days. Their strength was not their own. Their voice was not their own. Their power was not their own. The Spirit Himself would take His place and perform what the prophets had spoken. And they shall prophesy 1,260 days. This was not a public ministry, not a spectacle in the streets. These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands, standing before the Most High of the earth, not standing before kings, not standing before crowds, standing before Him, reserved, chosen, bearing the testimony entrusted to them. And the fire that proceeded from their mouths was not theirs. It was the fire of the Most High, the same fire that consumed enemies in the days of Elijah, the same authority that turned waters to blood in the days of Moses. John realized the angel was issuing a warning to the nations. Whoever hurts them, he must in this manner be killed. Not because the witnesses struck back, but because the Spirit executed the words spoken through them. Then the angel's tone shifted, as though he now addressed not John, but the nations who would one day watch this unfold. When they complete their testimony, the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war with them, and will overcome them and kill them. The nations would see it. They would rejoice. They would send gifts to one another, celebrating as though a burden had been lifted from the earth, as though silencing these witnesses meant they had finally taken their place, finally freed themselves from hearing their testimony. For these two prophets had tormented them, not by force, but by the inheritance they proclaimed. The inheritance Ezekiel 35:11 says the nations envied and hated. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Their torment was the witness of the law and the prophets, Elijah and Moses exposing the ancient hatred, guarding the covenant, declaring who the land belongs to and whom the Most High has chosen. So when the nations rejoiced, they rejoiced as Edom did, as if the inheritance were now theirs. But after 3.5 days, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered them. The nations who rejoiced would tremble. The witnesses stood. A voice from heaven called, "Come up here." And they ascended in a cloud as their enemies watched. Then the earth shook, a great earthquake, a sign that the Most High had vindicated His word. The same breath that raised dry bones in Ezekiel 37:10-14 now lifted His witnesses into glory. So I prophesied as He commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then He said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy, and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Most High, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Most High, have spoken it, and performed it, saith the Most High. And John understood. He had not merely recorded a prophecy. He had announced the Spirit's own work, a testimony sealed in heaven, performed on earth, and completed in power. And now the call is the same. Turn from the deeds the word exposes. Return to the one who breathes life into dry bones, and stand with the testimony he has sealed. If this message stirred you, share it, subscribe, and help spread the witness of his word.